I'm Jennifer, and this is Bossify.
This episode of Bossify is proudly brought to you by Janet Lawless Christ and Team Luxury Real Estate.
Lovely to see you again. Welcome to another episode of Bossify. I am with my dear friend, a true Bossify chick, Jen. Lovely to see you.
So good to see you.
Jennifer is all about turning dreams into reality. A successful business owner within the fitness industry, Jennifer came up with an idea. Create an app that takes the best of Instagram meets Yelp. She called it Envy. In just months, she found herself a finalist at South by Southwest Tech Competition in Austin. The same one that spotted Twitter before it went big. Up next, Jennifer's been invited to debut at Web Summit, the largest tech conference in the world. After that, watching her app go viral.
All right, my pretty one. Let's start with the first question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. How do you personally define success?
You know, it's so funny. I think a lot of people have been asking me this lately, and I really think that it's like slipping into the most gorgeous, highest, comfortable heels that you can imagine. Oh. They just look right, they feel right, and I think that fits both personally and when you own a business. If you do what you do well, the rest follows.
You just rock it.
Yeah.
And you know when you find those shoes.
Oh my gosh, it's
and
amazing.
You talk to them like, oh, hi.
Yes. It's
Hi.
like, hello, love, where have you been all my life?
Come, you're
Yes.
coming home with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when you find that, you just know it.
You just know it.
And then you're willing to do that's a difference too.
Totally.
We've talked so much, you've been such an inspiration to me about the fact that obviously we're gonna be fearful.
Yeah.
Every single day, I'm scared. I text you and I say, hey, I'm scared today. And you say, hey, so am I.
Yeah.
And we just do it anyway.
Yep.
So when you find that right pair of heels, when you find that right thing,
It just makes sense.
you just do it.
Yep, I agree.
There's no
It's
choice.
just one foot in front of the other.
So I know that you've had so many incarnations of this beautiful person that you are. How has that definition of success changed over time?
Yeah, you know, I used to think that it was monetary. I really based it on financial results, and
Was that in like your 20s, would you say?
for sure. I mean, like in your 20s, you think you're supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to make a lot of money, and if you're not, you know, you're not successful.
What's wrong with me?
Exactly. And I think the greatest lesson I've learned is, you know, I've had businesses where it's the financial, you know, aspect has played out maybe a little bit longer than I thought, but you have a great staff, you have a great team, and people love what you're providing. And I think it's just being, again, true to yourself and doing what you do well, and the rest comes very naturally.
When did that change for you, that new definition that you are this glowing, high vibration version of you?
Yeah, you know, I think it's, again, just being more comfortable in what I do. It's, you know, working for others and then making this change to working for yourself. All of a sudden you're in a much scarier environment, but yet there's a confidence about you and you're settling in. And I think that was just a huge, huge change for me.
So as that changes, as that definition changes, that probably changes your sense of self, who you are as a person, how you walk in those gorgeous heels.
Yes.
So how has that changed now? How do you sit with yourself?
You know, it's funny. You know, entering into the tech world, you know, prior to this venture, I'd never known anything about the tech world. And here I am building this app that's really trying to redefine an industry. And I'll sit in these meetings and I feel so confident because I believe in what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if I haven't done this before or if someone's looking at me thinking, you know, this is not your space. Envy makes me feel totally comfortable because I believe in what we're doing. I believe in the product that we're making. And I think that really makes a huge difference.
So many women that we've interviewed so far talk about this confidence factor.
Yeah.
Confidence in their voice, in their vision.
Yes.
Did that come almost immediately to you when you were like, this is Envy, this is what I'm gonna do? And although it's changed for sure, that confidence was there from the start?
It does. I will say that I was very hesitant to tell people I wanted to build an app because I was in an Uber the other day and my driver said, oh, I have this great idea for an app. And I just think that a lot of people have these crazy ideas. So I think it took me a little bit, but once I started really rounding out the vision and pursuing it, it was almost immediate. I just sat into those beautiful shoes, and it was like I was walking so confidently.
You do walk confidently. Now, there are definitely moments for both of us that we share together as friends that are not easy. And you've had quite a few. And this is an important thing that I love to share on our show, is that no one has it easy. And that by the time you see somebody in their shiny, high vibration self, oh man, have they paid their dues. So what is your greatest challenge turned blessing?
You know, it's funny. We do a lot of market research, and when we were talking about the advertising side of Envy, I remember, you know, well into this process, well before that, you know, there's no turning back now, or should say well after, I was on Yelp and I was doing a lot of research, and I looked at that platform and I said, what do we think we're doing? We're trying to take on this, billion-dollar company. And it was just kind of having that moment to say, you know what, we're going to do this better. Just because somebody's already done it and doesn't mean that there's room for improvement or ways to do it differently. And I think that was a very defining moment in this process, that a little bit of ignorance goes a long way.
I love that. It's so true. A little tiny bit of just going, I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it. You have to start before you're ready.
Exactly.
Somebody told me that. You just have to start before you're ready.
You do. I think, and again, it's sometimes just putting the blinders on and just believing in your product, what you're building, and not paying attention to all the riffraff that's out there. We all think that everything's been done. There's nothing new to be invented, especially I think when it comes to social media or digital platforms. And I don't think that's the case at all.
But where was this moment for you? Was it you're sitting there with your phone looking at Yelp, or was there something else where you're just sitting there going, this is impossible, or I can't do it, or let me just sit on my kitchen floor?
Yeah, it was two things, and it was an aha moment. I was actually in the shower, but I had seen that same time period within days, somebody talked about the Tinder functionality and was talking about it for off-the-cuff things, not dating. And so that kind of got my wheels starting. And then I had a friend who was looking for a plastic surgeon and went about it a very unconventional way, because really the way the plastic surgery industry is, it's very much from the doctor's point of view.
Right.
They post the before and afters, they choose which ones that they show. And she was more so just going up to people and saying like, hey, did you have a breast augmentation or what have you? And I thought, all those, you're amazing. I just figured it kind of put two and two together, and all of a sudden I was thinking that there was this untouched platform. But then you start, immediately to go into hair and all these other things, and then really anything that could be more simple. And I remember that moment. I remember my sister was the first person I called, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
You do tell me about that moment, and it sounds like for some people it could seem daunting. It's been done before.
Yes.
I can't take it on, and that's where so many people's success story stops.
Yeah.
And yours instead was, and let's take it on and let's do it better.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what advice would you want to give your 17-year-old self?
Well, first I would say buckle up, because you're going to have a pretty bumpy ride.
Yeah, we don't, that's the other thing, right?
I know.
You kind of almost don't want to tell them ahead of time.
No, you don't, because I made so many mistakes to sit right here. It's not the right decisions. It's taking those wrong turns. And I would just say you're going to not know who you are for a little while, and that's okay. Be resilient and just keep going, one foot in front of the other, and dream really, really big.
Dream like really big.
Really big.
Like, and then keep dreaming that big.
Yep.
Like your 27-year-old self, right? Because that's another like linchpin time in our lives,
really
right?
is.
Oh my gosh. I tell every 27-year-old that is even more important than
really
the 17.
is. It's crazy.
Please, 27-year-olds, dream big.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yep.
And whatever you're in, like just keep going, right?
I 100% agree. And if you don't like where you are, then start doing something about it.
Because you started an app like this.
Yeah.
And you're this. I mean, enough Bossify said. Okay, last question. What is something, I feel like I know a lot about you.
I know.
What is one thing I don't know about you that you would like to share with the audience today?
Oh, gosh.
Not to like put you on the spot or anything.
I know.
I know.
I mean, I used to be a very big runner.
Okay.
I used to run over 100 miles a week, and
I'm sorry, what?
yeah, over 100
Was
miles a week.
someone chasing you?
No.
Were you running towards a burrito?
No, I was obsessed with ultra marathons. I would race 50 and 100-mile races.
Yeah, no, boo.
Yeah. So that's probably my other. I'm running
Yeah.
a different marathon now.
Yeah, I was about to
yeah.
say. So do you still run?
I do, just not that,
Yeah.
not quite that far.
Because you need to take on the entire tech world.
Yeah,
It's a minor little detail.
yeah.
On that note, you are lovely.
You are
so
lovely.
thank you
Thank you
so
for
much
having
for
me.
sharing this with everyone. We're all going to learn so much.
Thank you.
Jen, thank you. Until next time, take care.
Now it's your turn to join the movement. Join the discussion on our Facebook page and see more episodes on our website at abbeygibb.tv. Be bold, brilliant, brave. You are Bossify. This episode of Bossify was proudly sponsored by Janet Lawless Christ and Team Luxury Real Estate.